You wake up before you understand that this will be the last normal sunrise of your life. The heat is already trapped inside the room, clinging to the futon, clinging to the wood, clinging to your skin like a hand that refuses to let go. You open your eyes and for a second, everything feels too ordinary to be dangerous. The thin fabric beneath your body, the dry smell of the house, the faint sound of someone moving in the next room, the distant sound of footsteps outside. But war does that to the mind. It teaches you to distrust exactly what feels calm. In Hiroshima, on this August morning in 1945, silence is not peace. Silence is just the empty space before something worse. You sit up slowly, your stomach tight with a hunger that no longer surprises you. Hunger has become routine. Fear has become routine. Staying alive has become a mechanical task. You smooth out your wrinkled clothes, ignore the sweat on your neck, and take a deep breath as if that could organize the day. It can't. Nothing today will be organized. Nothing today will remain intact. And if you want to survive this day, the first rule is simple. Never mistake a beautiful morning for a safe one. You stand up, step onto the warm floorboards, and immediately sense something off in the air. Too clean, too still, almost no wind. Outside, the city wakes with that weary normalcy that only exists in places too accustomed to threat. People walking early, workers leaving their homes, children stirring with sleep still in their eyes, women preparing what little food remains. The war has already taken so much that any small breath of calm turns into the illusion of protection. And Hiroshima, so far, has seemed too lucky. Other cities have burned. Other parts of the country have turned to ash. But not here. Here, there is still that poisonous feeling that maybe the worst will pass you by. That thought kills faster than fire. You wash your face with water that is no longer cool. There isn't much to eat. Maybe a small portion of rice, maybe something thin, maybe almost nothing. You chew slowly, not to savor it, but because your body needs to believe it has been fed. As you eat, you hear muted voices from the street. No one speaks the way they used to. Every conversation now sounds like people conserving energy, as if even words must be rationed. You get dressed, tie what needs tying, and step outside. The morning sun is already rising, lighting rooftops, poles, wires, bicycles, small shops, wooden facades, paper walls. It is a living city, a functioning city, a city that does not yet know it has entered its final minutes. You walk, trying to decide what to do first. Work, tasks, orders. Survival means staying in motion. Those who stop think. Those who think feel, and those who feel too much break before the explosion reaches them. The streets seem almost normal, but normal in 1945 is already distorted. There is exhaustion in faces, thinness in arms, a constant tension in the way people lift their heads at any distant engine sound. You do the same. You always do. Today is no different, except today the detail matters. The sky is too blue, too clear, too beautiful. A postcard sky over a city still convincing itself it stands on its own merit, when in truth it is only waiting its turn. You pass children who still manage to laugh, and that hurts more than it should, because childhood, in wartime, feels almost indecent, like a mistake. A child running through the street full of energy reminds you that a future still exists for someone, and your tired body reacts with envy before tenderness. You keep walking. The heat rises. Sweat runs down your back. You watch neighbors, carts, small groups crossing bridges, entering and leaving buildings. At some point, you realize you are paying too much attention to small details, as if your instincts are already trying to record the last image of the world before it disappears. A woman adjusting her sleeve, a man folding something into his pocket, a boy looking up for no reason, a window catching the light, a dog barking, a vendor calling out. All of it will vanish in a flash, and you do not know it yet. Then the sound arrives, faint at first, distant, familiar enough not to trigger panic. An airplane. It would not be the first time. Your head lifts automatically. Your eyes narrow against the sun. You search the sky until you find a small dot high above taxi. Just one. A single plane. That should unsettle you more than it does. There is no formation, no overwhelming roar, no sign of a large attack. Just one plane. And because of that, many people continue. Some look up and keep walking. Others stop briefly, assess, and return to their tasks. This is where the day makes its bet against you. To survive this day means distrusting what everyone else dismisses. It means being willing to seem paranoid. It means choosing shelter before confirmation. It means losing seconds of pride to gain seconds of life. But you hesitate because human beings are built to protect routine until the very last moment. You think it might be nothing. You think if it were serious, there would be sirens. You think the city would know. Someone would warn you. That trust kills. It is 8:15, and the entire world collapses into a single white second. There is no preparation for the flash. It is not just light. It is violence turned into brightness. A brutal white erases outlines, depth, thought. For an instant, nothing feels real. Your body does not understand. Your brain cannot process. The shadow burns into whatever surface it finds. Then the heat hits, not summer heat, not fire as you know it. Nothing you have ever experienced. It is an invisible blow, a wall of burning force touching your skin everywhere at once. It does not warm. It strikes. Your clothes react. Your body reacts. The air reacts. You try to curl inward, but the heat has already arrived. Your skin screams before you duke. And in the next instant comes the blast. The force tears away balance, direction, reference. You are thrown as if you weigh nothing. The ground slams into your body. Something hits your shoulder. Something cuts near your face. Your ears shut down.
Sound disappears for an impossible moment. There is silence. Then, as if the world remembers itself, the roar comes, too late to warn, too powerful to be just sound. You cannot breathe, your chest locks, your mouth fills with dust. When you inhale, the air comes in hot and harsh, mixed with ash, fragments, metal, and something worse. The worst is the smell, burning wood you know, dust you know. But now there is another odor spreading fast, heavy, irreversible. Flesh, fabric. City, people, all together. You open your eyes and the street that existed a second ago is gone. Where there were facades, there is rubble. Where there was glass, there are shards. Where there were recognizable shapes, there is collapse. And where there were people, there are things worse than corpses. Because death has not come cleanly for everyone. Many are still alive. That is the horror. You try to stand and pain cuts through your arm, your neck, your face. Your skin burns in patches. Some parts numb, others unbearable. Your clothes are torn, charred, sticking to you. Around you, figures stagger through smoke and ruin. Some scream, some cannot. Some only make dry sounds as if language itself has been ripped away. You want to stay still. Every instinct tells you to sit down and wait for instructions that will never come. But the second rule to survive this day is cruel. If you stay still, you die. You need to move before your mind understands. Walk, not because you know where to go. Walk because the fire chooses those who do not move. You force your legs and stagger forward. The ground is covered with shards, beams, tiles, embers, and pieces you do not want to identify. Heat rises from below and presses from above. Fires multiply, consuming oxygen and turning streets into corridors of a furnace. You hear cries for help, names repeated until they become sobs, voices calling for mothers, for water, voices so hoarse they barely sound human. Each sound tries to pull you back. Each face tries to turn your escape into guilt. And maybe it is guilt, but the guilt of the living is a luxury. Today there is only brutal choice.
You pass someone whose hand still moves. Another tries to stand, skin hanging from their arms in strips. You have never seen anything like it. It looks like melted fabric, but it is people. You want not to look, but you cannot avoid it. Your brain records everything. This will follow you if you live. The city seems struck by something beyond understanding. Nothing preserves scale. The large and small suffer together. Houses collapse over streets. Streets open over bodies. Bodies block the path of those still walking. You try to call someone you know, but your voice fails. Your throat burns. Smoke enters. Heat tightens. Your eyes water because the air itself is hostile. You move through flames, understanding slowly where people are going. Water. Always water. Your body understands before your mind. Competition. You need water. You follow the survivors, or what remains of them. People walk with arms stretched forward because burned skin cannot touch. Others are blind. Others carry bodies without knowing. The fire grows. The wind shifts, feeding it. You must reach the water. Along the way, impossible scenes unfolds. A twisted bicycle. A standing wall with nothing around it. A blood-covered face asking directions in a city that no longer exists. Children standing too still to cry. Your body begins to fail. Adrenaline fades. Pain takes control. Your arm is heavy. Your head pulses. Your vision flickers. You want to sit? Do not. The third rule, stay functional before you suffer. You reach the river. Relief lasts a second. The river is not salvation. It is despair. Bodies float. People collapse into the water. Some drink desperately. Others submerge burned limbs. You kneel and drink. Warm. Dirty. But you drink. It does not help. People collapse. Others stop moving. Smoke darkens the sky. Time distorts. You find partial shelter. People inside suffer. Breathe. Wait. Some will not last. You sit. Pain comes in waves. Your body begins shutting down. Outside, the city is no longer a place. It is a wound. You are still alive. For now, and as night falls, you understand something worse than the explosion. Surviving does not mean winning. It means feeling what comes after. And that is the cruelest part. If you made it this far, you did not win. You endured. And on a day like this, that is all anyone could do.